Okay, welcome everybody. We're gonna start off with news from the Sunshine State down in Florida. First, thank you so much, everybody. All the you're reaching out and whether it be on social media, whether it be via message, phone, email, myriad of different ways, expressing concern for the Markowski Investments team, my brothers, my family. Almost no, a lot of people that I know, a lot of clients, a lot of good friends. I mean, they all live down in that Southwest Florida area. And some have obviously, as far as their property is concerned, have fared better than others. But thank God everybody is okay. Everybody's healthy. My brother Michael, who just recently got his phone service back. Everybody know he's going to try to get in contact and return all the phone calls, all the well wish, everybody that's been reaching out. We really, really do appreciate it. It's it's something to behold. That's for sure. And again, I said I got a lot of friends that work in hospitals. The stories I could spend hours talking about them here. And at some point in time, I'll go over some of them. I want kind of the dust to settle to some degree, but there's obviously, devastation in areas of the state where, I don't know how they're going to come back from it. A large swath of people that live down in that state in areas that have been really hit hard, especially by water damage. Water damage it's killer. You get the wind damage, terrible, knocking trees down, blowing off the roof, various different things like that. You can fix that. It's cosmetic, but when you get hit by a wall of water, you're not coming back from that. And a lot of those are teardowns. And in Fort Myers, in a lot of those areas, it's just kind of a bit of an old Florida type of feel to it. And many people that own their homes outright and chose not to get flood insurance on those. And again, I don't know what type of situation they're going to be able to work out. Federal emergency assistance. I don't know what's going to happen next. I do think that needs to be a general rethink. And I'm someone who lived in the state of Florida for a long time, and like I said, planning on moving back. But even when I moved there, and state was heavily populated in, but it wasn't nearly hitting the boom like it is right now, or it has over the past 5-6 years. I saw, and I had concerns. Okay, geez, a lot of people moving down here. We got to consider natural resources, whatnot. And the place where I lived, it's what one of those master plan communities where can't flood. They put in man-made ponds and reservoirs, and they link them together, and so everything runs into them. And then when one fills up, that fills the other ones up. I mean, it kind of goes right on down the line. It's kind of a brilliant design, and I think that in many respects, I think that's what the state's going to need to do. I mean, the amount of people moving down there, the amount of cow pastures that have been turned into communities. We're going to need more reservoirs. We're going to need to collect the water. Use it for agriculture, use it for watering lawns and a myriad of other things, but you're going to need to find a way to capture it. And I think that they're going to have to redesign some of these areas. We'll see what's going to happen. I mean, I did take a look at some of the commodity price. I mean, lumber's up a couple percentage points. It's not that big of a deal. It's going to take time. It's the thing. People think it's going to be an automatic rebuild. It doesn't work that way. Insurance is going to take a bit of time. And if you got, especially if you got federal insurance, that's going to take even longer. Many of the insurance companies nowadays, they actually utilize drones to check various different things out, and they're going to be able to get things done a little bit quicker. We've already seen a mobilization from all these states sending trucks down there. A lot of the power has been restored. My brother's power is not at his area, which is in the Boca Grande, Punta Gorda, that area. His water is back on though. But again, it's going to take some time. It's going to take a great deal of effort. And again, I want to thank everybody again for all of the wishes and prayers that you guys sent our way. Okay, let's get into the markets. Friday, kind of like a massive end of the quarter sell off in the last 15 minutes. Took the markets down. Was it closed down almost 500 points on the nose? There's going to be some switch at some point in time. They're screwing things up royally. And it's funny, you're starting to see economists from both sides, left and right, starting to say, hey, what are these guys doing here? I am highly critical, and I make fun of Paul Krugman's columns in the New York Times, and I've done so for years. Even though the earlier stuff that he did, I liked. I did. He turned into a bit of a Looney Tune leftist, and again, it's hard to read his stuff, and little of it makes any sense to me anymore. But lo and behold, I get sent this article. I didn't read it. I really don't read his columns much anymore. Paul Krugman, is the Fed breaking too hard? He basically took my entire analogy about cars and braking, and that was his column. It was basically his column. Fed hitting the brakes too hard. And he basically posed that you can either tap on the brakes or you can stop your car by hitting a telephone pole. I said by slamming on the brakes. People, again, I'm looking at the stories here. Cargo ship owners cancel sailings. Global trade flips from backlogs to empty containers. That happened quick. But quick. The UK flip-flop on their tax cuts for their wealthiest citizens there. They didn't like the market reaction, even though, again, there's more to it than that. You talk about countries in Europe the whole time. They say, "Oh, it's a socialist country. These are socialist countries." To some degree, yes. This is when they nationalize, when the government nationalizes certain industries. One industry you could say is healthcare. Top rate in the UK is 45%, and that is your tax rate. I think if you're making over $180,000, I don't know what the equivalent is or pounds, but it's about $186,000 a year. It's 45% tax rate. Again, what do you get from that? Government pension, kind of like Social Security that we have here. And of course, you get your national health services. It's different. I remember when they had Bernie Sanders highlighting these Scandinavian countries, these socialist Scandinavian countries, and they got pissed. They're like, we're not socialist. We have high taxes and, various different services, and it's much more of a homogeneous society, different than what we are here. And that's what the people have agreed upon. In the UK, because of poor decisions for a very long period of time, many quote unquote conservative governments, they have another subsidy this year. They have to subsidize people's energy. Prices have gone through the roof. All of their stupid green ideas didn't work out too well. Relying upon Russia for your energy needs didn't work out too well. Stories people take into the streets right now, they're like, screw it, we're not paying. They're burning their bills. They're going out and they're burning their bills there in the streets saying, we can't do this. And this is even with the subsidy. What does this all mean? I don't know. But the Fed's going to get to a point in time where I don't know if they're going to have this, awakening out there that they're breaking stuff. That things are starting to break, and they are. And Friday we talked about the automakers and how all of these automakers out there, they had to pay up for their prices of making the cars, supply chain issues. Now the inventory is getting finished up and they can't sell it. They can't sell it because the people aren't going to buy it because rates have gone up and the cost of the car has gone up. And it's, what are they going to do with all of this? Again, this goes back to tapping on the brakes. And we have for a long time wished that the Fed would slowly but surely raise rates and get them back to a normal level. But again, we, the people of the United States of America, we continue to put people into power that want to spend and spend and spend. We grow the size of government. I saw a story, what was it, yesterday? Republicans just basically said, we're not going to bother trying to repeal Obamacare anymore. That's off the table. And again, I knew that would be the case. We've mentioned this before here on the program. Everybody, it's John McCain's fault. No, it's not. If it wasn't John McCain, it would have been somebody else. John McCain was just made it easy for the Republicans in that case because he and Trump had no love lost between those two. So he had no problem saying, I'll do it. I'll volunteer. I'll raise my hands. Nope. I'll get the thumbs down on this repeal. And it's not going anywhere. But what you're probably going to see, I'm telling you what is going to happen. Okay. You've got, everybody's getting all giddy and excited. Oh boy, elephants could win the House. Oh great, we got McCarthy church. Fantastic. And then we're going to have Mitch McConnell, let's say if they win the Senate, which I don't think is going to happen. What? Well, what are they going to do? Biden's in the way. What are they going to do? They're going to do anything. They're going to do anything. It's going to be the same thing again and again and again. You'll probably see down the road that they'll expand Obamacare. The ultimate goal, and they told you this. Barack Obama told everybody the ultimate goal was universal health care. It wasn't politically expedient at the time. He couldn't get that through. He couldn't get the ball over the goalpost, but he was smart for his side, and he moved the ball down the playing field. Again, they're much better at politics. They win. They do. I mean, you want me to lie? So you're winning things as far as the Republican Party is concerned? Oh, sure. Every now and then we get some tax cuts. Do we ever shrink the size of government? Do we ever get rid of any programs? Do we look to reform some of the entitlement programs we have? No, we just expand upon them. I mean, we got to look to the courts right now to pull back the latest entitlement, which was the whole student loan debacle. And God willing, something will put a stop to that because that'll be another one. There's been this left shift. I mean, it's the terrain. It is what it is. And this will stifle growth in this country moving forward. It has. It has. It did during the Obama years. We didn't have rip-roaring growth even into the Trump years. We're not going to have that type of growth unless you're coming out of a recession, simply because the government is just playing too large of a role. That is the reality of our situation. Anyway, get into energy a little bit here. American energy bills set to soar this winter. They already have. Global energy crisis may finally be coming to America. Europe is scrambling to secure LNG supplies. American companies, they want to get in. They want to sign those deals because they want long-term contracts, because that'll gift that keeps on giving. So our bills are going to be much, much higher. We don't have the coal. We don't rely upon the coal like we had in the past. We have to rely upon liquefied or natural gas, and then obviously diesel in some cases. We shut down nuclear power plants. So yes, our prices are going up. But what was interesting as well, it was as soon as it happened with the Nord Stream 2, basically somebody blew it up. I mean, that's without question. Somebody blew up the pipeline. Granted, there wasn't a lot of gas that was flowing through in the first place, but somebody blew it up. And it didn't take long for the conspiracy theories to come out and say, United States did it. United States did it because who stands to gain the most if that pipeline is destroyed? And that was, again, the the conspiracy theory that's still running. Um, Again, I don't know. I don't know. Did the thought cross my mind? Yeah, it did. I admit the thought crossed my mind. Nothing surprised me anymore. But then I mean, dude, what are you doing? The Secretary of the State of the United States, he's doing a press conference with Canada's top diplomat. And he talked about the disruption in the pipelines. And I quote, it's a tremendous opportunity to greatly reduce European energy imports on Russia. Even the Chinese government put out a tweet saying, why would you say something like that? I mean, based in essence, I'm paraphrasing, making it look like that you did. I mean, why would you say that? I don't know. Bad choice of words, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. But again, nothing really surprises me anymore. OPEC is set to cut production when oil prices back up. Oil is up today, about $82, $83 a barrel. They want that oil. I mean, listen, you take a look at the plans that these countries have for these mega cities that they're looking to put up, and they know they want to be printing as much money as they can for as long as they can, and they want those prices up above $100 a barrel. They do, and I'm going to be quite honest with you. So does our current administration. They could care less. I know you saw the little Biden fist bump and Biden, out there talking about gasoline prices need to come down. They don't want gasoline prices to come down. They want them higher because they want people buying their EVs. They're the EVs. They want them buying the electric vehicles. That's what they want. That's the agenda. Anyway, Credit Suisse. I've always had a problem with Credit Suisse. I got pissed off back in the 1990s when regulators here in the United States allowed a lot of these Swiss banks to come in and buy up American banks. And they bought up First Boston. It used to be Credit Suisse First Boston, but they dropped the First Boston. Anyway, rumors out there that Credit Suisse is in trouble and they needed to raise more capital. And, on the various different, terminals and talk on Wall Street is that, could Credit Suisse have a Lehman Brothers moment? Could Credit Suisse go away? Now they're deny. No, we're fine. Our capital position is okay. However, when it comes to runs on banks, it becomes a self-serving. The lie becomes the truth, whatever you want to call it. Okay, it can happen. Credit Suisse manages, the money for, many of the world's. Didn't Arafat have over $1 billion there? I think it was Arafat had over $1 billion at that bank. Arafat. I'm like, hey, what do you got a falafel, chain in the Palestine, in Palestine there? You're making a fortune. Where'd that $1 billion came from? Anyway, it's just one ripoff scam. I mean, like the aid that we give from all over the country, it ends up in those bank accounts. I got a story here. We'll get to. They're now estimating that the losses from COVID relief are over $600 billion. And it's foreign scammers as well. Nigerian scammer, you name it. Where do you think that money ends up? A bank in Lagos? No, it ends up in a Swiss bank account. They have no problem. They'll do business with anybody. Okay? So the issue is that if you're doing business at Credit Suisse and they're managing money, they're holding on to your assets, and you see problems, are you going to call up your manager there and say, hey, I got to move my account elsewhere because you're frightened that the whole thing is going to fall apart? Again, it's self-satisfied prophet. It could come true. Okay. And the whole thing, be self-fulfilling prophecy, the whole thing, the lie can become the truth when it comes to these runs on banks. Case in point, I was livid. I mean, this is 2008. I mean, Chuck Schumer gets in front of a microphone and he whispered some rumor that there was issues with Indy Mac Bank. Before you knew it, everybody was racing over there, yanking their money out of their bank accounts. And it's like It's a Wonderful Life there. Same concept. So yeah, their stock is down and there's concerns about Credit Suisse. Another quick business story. Good for Moderna on this one. And it's a shame. It's a shame that more American companies, again, they love flying the flag outside their headquarters, but they could give a shit more often than not about this country. And a lot of the things that they do quite often is short-sighted. And we know how American companies, how shall I put it, whore themselves out to China on a regular basis for short-term profits. There's nothing wrong with making money, but what cost down the road and at what cost to the country? Moderna has turned down a request from Beijing to hand over the core intellectual property behind the development of the COVID-19 vaccine. That caused a collapse in negotiations on its sale there. Yeah, they wanted the secret sauce. They wanted the formula because that's what they do over there. They don't build or create anything. They just steal and copy. And we allow them to do that. We allow them to do that with a lot of things. Because why? Oh, you know what? We got we got all these people here in this country, and we got a growing middle class, and you want to sell them stuff. If you want to sell them stuff, you better give us the goods. Has that served our country well at all? No. Another interesting business story here. Walgreens, again, more of this is going to see more and more of this. We talked about the Chipotle robot that's making the chips now. Walgreens is turning to robots to basically fill prescriptions and to free up pharmacists. This is great. And quite frankly, I think it's taken too long. Do you know they're giving signing bonuses at Walgreens and these places for pharmacists, $75,000 a year. Signing bonus, sign on. Hey, you need these people. These are great jobs. These are great jobs, and there's nobody there to fill them. And what basically they want to do is they want pharmacists to become more a part of, I guess, your overall health. They want them to provide more medical services, vaccinations, patient outreach, prescribing some medications. Again, I never understood why in the world I got to try to get into my pediatrician's office just to get a throat culture if my kid's got a sore throat for strep. You mean I can't? Why can't these things be done elsewhere? And slowly but surely they are. But it's smart. It's efficient. It is. Again, why would you waste the doctor's time when you could just go there? Oh, it's positive. Oh, okay. If there's anything else then you go to the doctor. But again, this is a great direction. And these robots, you got to see what they can do. It's pretty extraordinary. One of the biggest fulfillment centers is near Dallas, fills 35,000 prescriptions a day, serving about 500 stores in Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas. Yeah, automation. Going to continue to see more and more of it. Anyway, I actually had sent to one of my listeners that likes to bust my balls all the time, but I like that anyway because, again, if there was busting balls, should be an Olympic sport. Sign me up. Anyway, I didn't see this one. Cartoon, and I like this cartoon. I mean, I used to like it when I was a kid. I used to love the Sunday newspaper. I used to love the Sunday newspaper, the funnies that were in color back then. And again, some of my favorite out there. I loved Calvin and Hobbes, and obviously Far Side. But Dilbert's a good one too, and I haven't really paid much attention to it anymore. But Dilbert got canceled. Dilbert got canceled in 77 newspapers after the creator basically making fun of ESG like we do. And again, this is the reality. The people, they don't want you to know that ESG is a scam. It's a racket, and you got to be canceled if you actually tell the truth. Problem we have here in this country. Here's the cartoon. It's got this character. He says, our ESG score will drop if we open a new factory that adds CO2 to the atmosphere, but we can balance that out by adding more diversity to our board. How much CO2 do you plan to add? Asked one of the characters. Oh, the reply, 1 non-binary board member's worth. Are they saying anything that's not accurate? No, that's what it is. I'm still shocked, quite frankly, that South Park hasn't been canceled. I really am. And fans of Dilbert, again, I highly recommend the show. Again, it can be irreverent. They did, and you have to watch it. South Park, it was like 2 mini-hour episodes, little movies, and they called it the Streaming Wars Part 1, Part 2. And again, they're pulling stuff from some of the older episodes, so some might get lost in sauce. But the whole Streaming Wars things was a take on the streaming wars that we're having right now, except they did it and they pulled water into it and they did climate change. And again, they showed how a lot of these streaming companies, they're just to pump up the stock. There were so many things that were in it, and it was spot on. And what is it? They're an equal opportunity bashers. They go after all the hypocrisy, all the nonsense. What's wrong with that? Nothing. Nothing at all. That's what we're supposed to do. Anyway, Kamala Harris, man, she worked in a Clinton administration. She'd be gone by now, like gone. She'd be like with Luca Brasi. She'd be sleeping with the fishes somewhere. Clinton, they find ways to get rid of you. But anyway, Kamala is talking about hurricane aid and made the point that hurricane aid is going to be divvied out based upon the color of your skin. Again, people applauded it when she said it. People applauded it when you say, how effed up, seriously, is this country? That's what we're going to do? We're going to start handing out aid rather than based upon the need. We're just going to do it based upon people's color. Isn't that exactly what we're trying to get away from? And again, the Supreme Court's going to be hearing a case that involves this in college admissions moving forward. You know, Elon Musk chime in and other people's. I said, what the hell are you talking about? Again, just there's not a lot upstairs in many of these people in this administration. Just be honest. Okay. It's a shit show. Okay. Pete Buttigieg he's an idiot. Okay. You got the other one. You get the energy secretary, Granholm. Just fool. Doesn't know what the hell she's talking about or what the hell's coming. I mean, it's brutal. It really is. Political appointee after political appointee. And I'm just saying, you know what? It's not just the Democrats that do it. Okay? Again, I might give you an example how I'm an equal opportunity basher. Trump went off on this massive rant going after Mitch McConnell. And he targeted Mitch's wife and how she's kowtowing to China and buddies with China. Hey, Donald, let me ask you, didn't you appoint Elaine Chao as your transportation secretary? It's amazing. You hire all of these people that in a very short period of time, they all of a sudden they're always stabbing you in the back, and it has nothing to do with you. Right. Either that or you're just You claim to be this big businessman, this smart and tell, but everybody you hire, backs up, goes away, right? I don't know. Something's amiss there, if you ask me. I mentioned this beginning part of the program. Only a small number of residences in two of Florida's hardest hit inland counties are covered by flood insurance. The percentage of protected homes is higher in coastal areas that sustain the most damage, but still is just over 50%. In just one of the affected counties, according to analysis by Neptune Flood, a private sector flood insurance provider, in all locations pummeled by Ian, the percentage of homes covered by flood policies is down from 5 years ago. For a lot of people down there that are on fixed incomes, they start looking at things that they're going to cut back on. They do. Hey, your food prices are up, your energy prices are up, things are going up, your Social Security is the same, your pension's the same. You know what? We're going to cut out the flood insurance. And you start cutting back on things, and this is what's going to happen. Now, your homeowner's not going to cover flood unless you have the flood insurance or flood rider on it, which I don't know what these people are going to do. I don't. But again, what I found interesting was that I had that story somewhere talking about I'll have to find it, the amount of money that they were estimating. I mentioned it earlier, $600 billion in COVID relief and unemployment insurance that was stolen. Do you understand? Just put it in perspective. That's way more than the entire estimate, the entire bill for fixing all of this mess from this hurricane. Just think about that. Think about all the damage. Think about all the homes that were wrecked. Think about all the infrastructure that was damaged, all of that. And we had more money stolen in our COVID programs than would cost to repair Florida. Anyway, again, I saw this one. Iran says it's where they're letting a couple hostages. I call them people that they arrested this several years ago. And they did it. We gave them $7 billion. In essence, it says we unfroze $7 billion in Iranian assets. So you're the Iranian government. What would you do? Anybody with an American passport or whatever it may be, if I'm there, you're going to just start arresting them on trumped up charges because the American government's just going to pay your way out, right? Obama did that with that Bo Bergdahl fella. Forget exactly what the deal was there. The guy who left his post and went over to the bad guys. Anyway, neither here nor there. Is this a good policy? No. I went off on this before. I remember when they had that story about it was the person that got taken in North Korea. I was a college student. I think it was University of Virginia student, went over there and got arrested for whatever it may be and was mistreated. I think he ended up dying. I can't remember. My point was at the time, State Department of the United States. I'm Secretary of State. I just put out a warning. It's a travel advisory. If you go to any of these countries, you're out. It's kind of like, in Mission Impossible where you're a spy and you get disavowed. No, we're disavowing you, but we don't have an embassy there in your country. We don't have diplomatic relations with that country. You want to go there? We're not going to do anything. We told you not to go. It's extraordinarily dangerous, okay? Okay, you want to jump into a tank full of sharks with freaking laser beams attached to their heads. Dr. Evil gets what he wants. That's on you. And we should be washing our hands of this stuff. It's the same thing. They just ordered all Americans out of Russia. and dual national people have dual citizenship. You think you should have done that maybe a little while ago? You guys, you didn't see the issues there. Yet the Russian people don't have American passports looking to get out of the country, and you're going to stick around? That's on you. This is stupid. So we just, basically Iran gets $7 billion. We get our, I guess they're dual nationals back, and they've had some medical issues. But what the hell are you doing there in the first place? No, you just put it out there. We don't even have a flipping embassy there. Okay? Last time we did, it got overrun and they kept hostages for a period of time. You don't go. You don't go. Well, I got to do business there. Well, then guess what? You do business there. You know what? You get taken. That's on you. We're not coming for you. Anybody have a problem with that? It makes sense to me, doesn't it? Anyway, two more stories right here before we go today. Stuff on the woke side here. I guess some movie came out. Some movie. It's I didn't even know anything about it. It's called Bros, and it had a $22 million production budget, and it did shitty at the box office, 4.8 million. But a lot of movies do shitty at the box office now. The actor-writer got all upset. It's a gay romantic comedy. And it's obviously it's a gay romantic. It's going to be heralded as awesome and brave. I don't know. Maybe it is good. I don't know. I don't know. When it comes on, I'll start to watch, see if I am interested in it. But the guy who made it, again, he's ticked off because nobody went to see his movie. He puts out a tweet. He says, everyone out there who isn't a homophobic weirdo should go see the movie tonight. Dude, is that what you do? Because people didn't go and see it. You're going to go. You think you're going to drive people to the movie because you insulted them? And second thought, you're a schmuck. I'm not going to watch a movie. Anyway, good old Amherst. Listen, I'm being honest, people. Okay, I have a list. I have a list of colleges I won't hire. I can't. I find it. I don't know how people could stay in a place like this. Amherst now. Listen to this. Again, highly regarded liberal art school, far left whack jobs run this place. They introduced a survey for classes. This is how it goes. It's an anonymous survey. If you're in a class at Amherst, they give you an anonymous survey, and if any of your classmates or teachers feel that everyone should wear masks, then everyone should have to wear masks. One. We took a tyranny of the minority. All you need is one person in the class say, I don't feel comfortable unless everybody's wearing masks. Then everybody in the class has to wear masks. I'm not making this up. This is what they're doing. I'm sorry. You might be bright. You may be wonderful. You may have been a star on their football team or the lacrosse team. I just can't. I can't because I don't get it. I don't understand how parents would even allow their kids. That's highly regarded. I don't give a crap. Okay? That's child abuse. You're going to put your kid through this type of crap? You want your kids to be educated by these fools? Get the hell out of here. Watchdog on WallStreet.com. Watchdog on WallStreet.com. We'll see you.